Okay, Commissioners, the next item is an application for a certificate of appropriateness in the Borough of Manhattan for 210 West 11th Street, located within the Greenwich Village Historic District, docket number 164759, block 613, lot 48, an Italianate-style row house built in 1856. The application is to amend certificate of appropriateness 144749 for the construction of a stoop and a rooftop bulkhead and deck, and the alteration of window openings. This was first heard and approved by the Commission June 4th, 2013.
Good afternoon, Victor Tomanik, Preservation staff. At the public hearing in 2013, the Commission approved work at the building, including a partially visible rooftop addition and alterations to both the front and rear facade. Of that approval, a couple aspects have changed, including at the parlor floor, the enlarged opening has now been changed to a 1-foot 4-inch projecting bay window. And at the roof, the footprint of the addition has been both enlarged and relocated from aligning with the west party wall to aligning with the east party wall. And here it is in plan. Additionally, the railing at the rear has been extended to be flush with the rear facade. And both of these changes have increased the visibility to the east.
You're saying that the design has been changed, not that this has been constructed?
It has not been constructed yet, no. And Scott here's to go into more information.
Okay, I think we understand. Do people understand the scope of the changes? Okay, maybe you can just show what the impact is in terms of visibility from the rear, I think, correct?
It's primarily views from the east.
Okay, views from the east, right.
These are views from 1, 4, and 6.
Okay.
This is what was approved at the 6/14/13 hearing, and then here it is now. Again, this is number 4, approved and current. And then this is number 5, approved on the right and current mock-up on the left. And then this is 6, same thing.
And staff would suggest that you use the flue extension as your point of reference in these visibility studies. You can kind of see the mock-up image when you look at it in relation to that flue extension.
Where is the flue extension?
It's this one right here.
It's slightly higher, like 2 feet higher.
The height has not increased any, but because it's been shifted to the party wall.
So what you see
Its
is
location has changed, right?
Correct.
It's-
Its location changed. Its footprint is slightly larger. And the two of those things, even though the addition itself is slightly lower, has increased the visibility somewhat. You also do see the deck pulled all the way to the rear facade and the railing above it. Prior to the original approval, it was set back 30 feet from that.
Why don't you just explain why you moved it, why you moved the location, like we were saying?
And actually, if you
Okay,
open,
Yes, one second, we'll reopen the hearing. Yes. Go ahead.
Well, this is a unique project for my office in that it's the same building, but we've had 2 separate clients. Our original client went through an approval process, sold the building to our now current client of the same property, and he made some changes to the building. One of those changes was the location of the stair within the townhouse. That then informed where the skylight and bulkhead needed to be. And given those design changes, the bulkhead moved from the west to the east side.
But they made the rooftop addition more visible from the...
Precisely. It was more visible in that from 7th Avenue and from the vistas we've shown. It's now closer because it's moved to the other side of the building. So perspective-wise, it does look bigger. Now, working with Victor to combat this, we have lowered the bulkhead. Structurally, we looked at the stair layouts and we've lowered it so that it decreases the visibility. And so basically it's twofold of what we're asking for in the amendment to the approval is the bay window, which was described in the initial, and the relocation of the bulkhead.
And the railings, right? Because the railings, you've taken to the edge of the building while before it wasn't. Parapet.
Yes, there's going to be a black picket rail that will be at the top of the cornice.
Okay. All right, comments and concerns? So it's going to be more visible primarily because they've relocated it closer to the side where we'll be able to see it. And and this is related to the interior layout of the entire building, or?
That's correct, yes. You could see in the approval from the summer of 2013, the stair was more centralized when it popped up on the roof, and then we were able to tuck the mechanical room behind it. The current design has the stair on the opposite side of the party wall.
And you couldn't flip it. I don't know what the other floors are like, but you couldn't flip it where you still have your staircase on the outer side, but on the other side. So it's not so proximate to 7th Avenue and I think 7th Avenue.
It has to do with the entry into the space and where the main front door is and the stoop that as you approach and the way that the stairs.
Okay, and so
Architecturally,
is the stoop actually on this
the stoop
side?
is here.
The stoop is here,
Yeah.
okay, I see,
We just felt it was more appropriate to move the stair to that side of the building.
okay.
And there's no way to sync the walls, the structure of the stair to make it?
We have. We've looked at the rise and runs of the stairs, and we were able to squeeze out an additional 4 inches, as you see there, to reduce the height. It was,
All right, comments or concerns? Yes, Diana?
I feel like it is visible, but it's the sort of things, there's no way it won't be visible. Anything that's going to be visible. And I think in the context of the other stuff up on the roof there, that it isn't that much of an issue, because there's limited visibility on the one side through sort of the alley, whatever it is there. And then the other side, it's going to be visible no matter what you do, and I don't think it looks inappropriate as a kind of bulkhead structure there. I don't know. I mean, it's,
additionally, I don't know if this is neither here nor there, but there is a building that is under construction now that is going to be 4+ stories high that will eliminate some of the views that we've demonstrated. Not all of them, but a few of them from 7th Avenue.
and as far as the bay window, that's fine.
I don't have an issue with the bay window. I think yes, it increases the visibility, but it's not completely uncommon. So,
I just think that directionally raising the degree of visibility, it was visible before, and now it's just more visible. That it did not have to be more visible than it was before, because obviously it's not a question of, there's no visibility or visibility, it's just like how much, so.
well, we can ask them to just continue to work with staff to see how much to reduce it.
I would ask them to do that.
Can we ask them to do that?
They've added a lot of stuff to it. They've added a powder room, all sorts of other amenities. I think they need to work with staff to reduce it.
Is the commission okay with that?
How much reduce?
In height or in its width?
I think that's-
Well, the width that you're seeing in our new proposal, which you're not seeing here, is that piece that you see right here is hiding the mechanical unit, the toilet exhaust, the kitchen exhaust, and all the other unsightly things. So that basically was in response to try and get that into the
You can
building.
move that around where the powder room is though, right? You can wrap it.
We could, the way that it works with the stairs
That's
is,
what we're asking you to do. Thanks.
Right, I agree. You don't have to have the powder room. You can put that where the powder room is.
yeah, it was a client request.
I know, and I think that the issue is we allowed for a certain amount of visibility, and you know, you've increased it in a couple of ways. You've changed the location, right? You've taken it from one side to the other side. You've actually increased the size of the staircase from what it is, because you have more risers, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And then you have this added piece, which is the mechanicals that are hidden, right? Which is actually extended outside of there.
Sure.
So that's a lot. So it seems that you can give up a certain amount, which is probably the powder room where it can be tucked in, right? So it'll reduce the width, which I think would help. Right? Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right, so we can, I think in that case, close the hearing? I don't know if we opened it, but we can close the hearing. And John, will you read that, please, resolution?
In the matter of docket number 16-4759, 210 West 11th Street, Greenwich Village Historic District. The application is for certificate of appropriateness for the construction of a stoop and a rooftop bulkhead and deck, and the alteration of window openings. I recommend approval with a modification, finding that the construction of the proposed rooftop addition and roof decks as modified will not result in the loss of or damage to any significant architectural feature of the roof or building, that the materials of the proposed rooftop addition featuring gray metal cladding and clear glazing will be harmonious with the materials palette of this building and adjacent rooftop additions, that the relocation of the partially visible rooftop addition, which will be seen in context with background buildings and other rooftop equipment, will not notably increase its visibility, and that the proposed minimally projecting bay window at the parlor floor at the rear facade will not obscure, conceal, or overwhelm any significant features and will only be partially visible from Waverly Place due to a break in the streetscape. The applicant will work with the staff to relocate the equipment on the roof to the area where the powder room is currently located on the roof.
Good. Second, all in favor? Any opposed? Application's been approved.